and Sue and the staff here at the Orpheum. We really are grateful for them to partner with us to present the screening tonight. This has been really a DIY effort. Give it up for Out of Your Backpack Media as one of the producers. For those of you who don't know, Out of Your Backpack Media, we're based here in Flagstaff since 2004. We've been offering free workshops for Native youth and providing access to equipment through these workshops in a media center we have on 2nd Street. But a lot of the mentors that have been trained and been part of Out of Your Backpack Media since 2004, they started when they were 14, but they were part of the film crew. They were doing the sound, the lighting and everything. And this film, we are going to be releasing it maybe in a few months, video on demand, but it's about 20% brighter, but we just had some limitations here. But so I urge you to check it out. It'll be a little brighter. There's some nuances that are nice. But yeah, so this is a completely DIY and crowd-funded effort. So give it up for everybody who has donated through the crowdfunding campaign. Now, I'm gonna go up here because we're gonna do the Q&A up here, and I would like to welcome our cast and crew of Powerlines to join us. So Nesbahi Williams, Nesbahi Ragdoll, give it up for Kayla Reed Daly, for Belinda Eyes, for Tony Scrulinas, for Sam Binkler, give it up. And we have Rudy Preston, Don Dyer, we have Lyncia Begay, we also have Roland Begay, we have Princess Benali, who is in the film and also a producer. We have Taylor Hall, who's here, if you'd like to join us. I'm probably going to miss some people. We have Daryl Marks in this end and his crew, his whole Long Walk crew and party crew. You were like everything, the Long Walk extras and the party extras as well. Give it up. You're welcome to join us. And of course, I cannot forget my father, Jones Benali. How close is Jack? We had to turn the music up extra loud because he's a little hard of it. Is that everybody? Princess has been the producer, so I have to check with her. Is that if you were part of the film, just come on up. How about that? Makairis, don't be shy. I think that's everybody. Mr. Marks in the stand. And we had a lot of extras. We had a lot of support. Rowie Shabala, actually, if you want to come up, she's a huge part of this, all right? Actually, Robin Jackson and Chris Jocks as well, would you like to join us? They were in the film. Sometimes I forget because they were integral in advising with the script as well. So if you'd like to join us. They're like, oh, we're good here in the peanut gallery. Yeah. Give it up for Rowie, yeah, she's coming up. So, I was advised earlier to stand in the light. So again, a big thanks to the Orphenum Theater, and a thanks to everybody for coming out. Give yourselves a round of applause. We really appreciate your support for independent, community-based film. So we're going to do a Q&A. We have about like 10-15 minutes for questions. There's so many people that I want to thank, and I'm sure there's folks want to talk to or mention as far as the gratitude and the support. There are actually people in the audience that we'll probably get to. But I guess we'll just take questions. If anybody has any questions or comments for cast or crew, if you want to come up closer to, I think we might have to yell it, unless do you mind if I take this out in front of house too, Scotty? Okay, I'll do that. I'll raise your hand if you have a question, or actually stand up if you'd like to, and then I'll come with the mic to y'all.
My question for you guys is, what are the deleted scenes?
You're already getting to that point. Does anybody want to jump on the mic for that? These mics are live, so.
Is it okay? Oh, hi. It works. Hold on.
Give it up for Nesbahi.
Quick thing, I would like to thank my mom, Catherine. Mommy, stand up please. She's the one who watching Netflix all day, so, but it's all for my mommy. All that hard work is for my mom, and for Glee, and everyone else, so yeah.
Anybody want to speak to deleted scenes at all? Because we have the deleted scenes.
Should we talk about the cupcake?
No, that's a blooper.
That was
That's
great.
different. No, another deleted scene that we had, it was a few other actors. I don't really remember the names, but it was the one at I want to say Chevron, but it's not the Chevron.
I don't know which
It's the one with the car. Remember?
So we had a scene where there was, I'll answer this.
Yeah.
We had a scene with local band Day of the Dog, Seymour and a few other folks. As the characters were being, they stopped in Kingman, I believe. There was an interaction right there with the sexist band, and then a threat with a knife. So it was actually a scene that helped to allude to the upcoming stabbing scene, but we had to cut that because of the time.
Yeah, I remember I threw like a donut right at his face and it like popped out. It was hilarious.
All right, next question. We got one right here.
I just want to say that you guys all did a fantastic job. I am actually from Big Mountain, and I just want to say thank you because I really felt that movie, and I just wanted to ask you guys if any of you give it a second thought. Like doing your parts or playing your part in the movie, did anyone like second guess it or give it any kind of second thought at all?
No.
I don't think so.
No. No.
Well, I just want to acknowledge the cast, because just about everybody, there's a few folks who had previous experience, but a lot of folks, this is their first film. So I just give it up for folks really putting it out there. Any other questions, comments, just raise your hand and come over here.
I just wanted to ask, given the fact that what had happened in Winslow, was it kind of hard to film in Winslow with being able to get into the correction department and stuff like that? Maybe that's a question for you, Clea.
Where did we film that scene?
We filmed it at the info shop.
Thanks to Roland for building that set. So if you saw Roland's project, not only did he act in the film, but he was set designer, craft services, I don't know what else he did. Roadie all around, right? So Roland was responsible for that scene. It was actually, so thanks. I guess that's a compliment.
I got another question. The scene about when the trucker got stabbed, it didn't really explain why he got stabbed. Oh, just want to explain that.
Well, in that scene, the kind of outtake of it was like Selma and Haley got into the vehicle, and then as she was having her dream, I was like basically getting molested, or like in the process. So that's why the scene after was, I'm never going to be a victim again, not again, because I didn't want to be. So that's the only reason why I stabbed him.
So women who Indigenous women, we're 1 in 3. We have a 1 in 3 chance of being sexually assaulted or victims of or survivors of sexual violence. So that's why I think the scene was in there. But yeah.
And that was like a really big part of it, especially for teenage girls being that young, and that type of, I guess, I don't know how to say it, I don't know, that type of place and situation where you guys see. Yeah, that's
All right, we got another question here.
Oh, that was a powerful movie from all of you. And one question I had, one thing, that movie gave me like the chills, especially during the end. But one thing I wanted to ask is, what was, I guess for the two main characters, what was your most, as far as connecting with these characters, what was the most favorite scene or the most toughest scene to get into for you guys?
Well, here's the thing. I've known Kayla since we were actually like in elementary school. So, the first time when we read the script, all of us together as a cast, when I saw that she was Selma, I'm like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And I don't know, we were pretty close at one time. I guess we still are to this day. But one of the toughest scenes for me was probably the poetry slam here in Flagstaff. It was a rough day for me, but I got to re-record it. But one of the funnest days was probably when we were at a gas station and someone was eating a donut. I was supposed to slap it from her hand, and I slapped it, and the fun cake ended up falling right there perfectly. And everyone on the crew and us just tried avoiding not to laugh. But then Kayla lost it. Or at the time we were in Vegas, and towards the end when I was done reading my poem, she was spacing out. She said, "Go Selma!"
Yeah, on that scene, it was supposed to be me sitting in the back, and she's in front, and she's like, it's at the end of her poetry slam, where everybody's like, yeah, or not saying anything. And throughout the whole time, I was sitting there, and then I could just see Clee like, hey, it's your time. And I'm like, oh, go Selma! I was like, wait, that's me. Like, oh, okay, never mind. But in my honest opinion, my character that I got, the reason why I auditioned for it, I guess, is because not for the fact that I see myself in her, but just for the fact that I can understand of a grounding situation that where she came up from, whether it was her past or her future. I just felt like I had a good connection with Selma, not just as a character on paper, but bringing her to life wasn't that hard, but to make her an actual individual was a little harder than expected because I can't portray myself into a character. So for me to kind of tone down what I would have done in those situations and like turn the view on how other people would have perceived it in their perspective is actually a lot tougher than I ever imagined, but those things can happen. But in my honest opinion, I guess the hardest scene that I ever had with Selma, it wasn't technically on screen. It was more of, I guess, trying to find, Selma, or trying to find the right things that Selma would do in her own situations. I honestly think that was the hardest part for me.
Two more questions. I just want to mention that we actually shot the scene where Tony in the house was being a drunk and abusive to Haley, to Esmahi's character on Esmahi's birthday.
Oh yeah, I turned 17.
Just want to put that out there. But she was awesome because then we had a birthday cake after.
Okay, quick thing about that. So Tony's character is supposed to hit me in the face with a bottle right here on this cheek. 2 months later, I ended up getting hit with the cheek with the ocean. So I'm like, okay, it's really there now. But that was a really rough scene with Tony because again, I've known him for since I was in kindergarten because I went to school with his daughter. But I like how I'm taller than my parents too. But it was really nice to work with Belinda and Tony as my parents because they're just really nice people and I do love them all. So,
Okay, I wanted to tell Belinda because I know now I understand their story because you have so much courage and you're so brave.
thank you, Roxanne. I appreciate that. Well, I didn't really audition, or I didn't really think I was going to be in this movie. We had requested my daughter Anna to come and audition for a role as Selma, but after Anna finished auditioning, he turned to me and he said, "I want you to audition for the mom." That's why I looked at him, "On me?" And he goes, "Yeah, come on up." So I went ahead and auditioned, and 2 weeks later, I think it was, he texted me and told me he was offering the part. So, but as far as playing a role like that is really hard because I'm not ex-con, but I do know people who have been in prison, so I kind of had an understanding of what happens to people and how they get affected while they have been incarcerated. So I've been around enough people and I've worked with enough people that have spent time in prison, so I kind of knew where they were at. I was also going by my own experience, my personal experience being out in the streets and being an alcoholic and addict and trying to come out of it. And also I was around a lot of drug dealers. So that kind of helped me portray the ex-con and being in prison as well. So I do have a personal experience, and maybe that's where the toughness comes out, because I do relate to a lot of people that have been in that situation as well. So it is kind of related to my own personal life, but just as my own life, I do it for a reason, and I want to help people, and I also want to represent my people in a positive manner, even though we have a past that's destructive and full of anguish. I'm also speaking up for my ancestors and for the people that are ahead of me. I'm not only doing this for myself. So I'm actually trying to create a network of people from around the world so we can all understand each other and make those connections. That's where I'm coming from.
Maybe 2 more questions from the audience, and then I want to hear from the casting crew. So over here to the left.
I just wanted to tell you guys that you guys did a really good job on the movie, and thank you for all the time you guys spent. And it was just amazing. Thank you, guys!
The scene in Peabody, that was really muddy. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, that was so muddy.
My shoes were like muddy, caked with mud for days on end.
My shoes are still muddy.
That truck I kept driving, that was your boyfriend.
Yeah.
And she was like really paranoid. And I was like, feel up. Too fast. Yeah, there was a lot of different fun scenes in this.
Actually, so if we can, anybody from the cast or crew wants to say something before we move on to the panel presentation, just open the conversation up to folks on stage who haven't spoken.
I'd just like to say thank you for coming, all of you, and thank my family for the support, and that's all I want to say.
Give it up for Sam. And for those of you who know, Sam is typically behind the camera in things like this, so it's great to have him in front.
And I want to thank everybody for coming out and meeting us. I also wanted to say something very important, because while we were filming, Clee and his wife, Princess, were able to think ahead to film the prison scene, because when I got there, they had smudged the room and they were smudging the room for me. So that really told me that they really had this traditional insight into why we were doing this, and that we needed to be careful, because it's happened to reenact somebody that's in prison, and I really appreciated that.
Well, I just want people to remember a lot of us are from Big Mountain. I'm from Big Mountain, and my family is totally impacted by the location. There's 3 of us now. And it's really about greed, corporations taking over. Our tribal governments really need to maneuver lawyers and money. And that's really what's caused a devastation to the culture. I've read over the years, and I know I've experienced it, with how our elders and the people that lived up there, we were very traditional. We really lived it old. And the books and the readings I've read since then, since we moved out, all of us were relocated, we didn't know it. We were at school, and all of a sudden our families we never grew with sheep anymore, we never got rotated cornfields anymore, all of a sudden we're living in the cities. A lot of these things, all our families never approved of, our kids. But now we feel it, and this film represents that. It's what happens to our people. Slowly, more and more of us are really buying into this way, and it doesn't have to. I think this film really kind of gives a background of something that's really been devastating to our nation, which is COVID and politics and what it's done to our people. And because of that, they moved 10,000 people off this land, some of the most traditional people in the world. Let's not forget that message.
Princess? Get up, Princess! This film definitely would not have been made without her support and then deep gratitude.
So I wanted to thank all of the cast and especially the crew, because without them, this film wouldn't have been made. And first and foremost, just acknowledging the amount of work that he put into this film. He has been working on the script for, I don't know, how many years? He says it's many, but I think it's more like 7, 10, something like that. He's been working on the film for a long time, and so he initiated a lot of the work that was here, and just sort of like seeing the dedication and the passion in him just gives a lot of awesomeness to the film. So I just wanted to, again, acknowledge the amount of hard work that he has put ever since he started putting in the work to write the script, to actually shoot it and get everybody together, and also doing all the editing and putting together all the music. So he has seen this all the way through. I was teasing him the other day. I was like, oh, look, we birthed the film. But let's all get around the podcast.
It's kind of good to see that a lot of the film was analogous to the language and the subtitles. And all of us here pretty much, we're local and it's locally produced and everything. It's going to be really amazing to see a lot more Native Americans making films and telling the story and recording history from our point of view. Like this theater, for instance, the back section up there, it used to be segregated. Only non-whites could sit up there. So here we are, natives on stage now.
Take it over.
Congratulations to Belinda. She graduated from NYU. Joyce and I, we've been making films, but we've been in commercials. We used to always go out to Monument Valley and we'd be all dressed up, walking into a cafe, and all these tourists would want to take our photos.
So, yeah, just maybe a couple more. Louise and Wally, if you want to start heading towards the stage, bring us the segue right in.
I got to play the jerky cop, and I can't change the past, and I would like to apologize, but I can say that I stand with you as we move toward the future.
Yeah, God, Joel, I don't put it. TV Rasa, Aruna Sa case or the Kuro, Additionally, non lady, Kuro, put out the car in the Doya together. Kodeni, issue activities in even as a hello bar with the Dole, この他、ビガスナ、アルコルローダーに、このイシャヨリ、ジョアコディコロ、アロコロ、アコアジ、ヤコロコアウ、インダソス、アコシコロバヘンス。I'd like to say thank you to educate ourselves to more. We have we struggle everywhere we go. We struggle because we're not used to it. So now we come back more to understand to our problem. So I'd like to say thank you. We've been working hard together to this to every one of you. So, again, you just need all it. How long is it? And that's it all,
At first, I want to thank everybody for coming out. You know, you guys made this happen. We made this happen, but you guys helped out with this. But I want to appreciate everybody for coming out. Woo! I want to appreciate everybody for coming out. And then I want to thank Rick especially because, you know, without him, none of this would have been possible. Without Princess, none of this would have thrived. And, you know, it's brought a lot of people together. In my eyes, it helped me realize the fact that, you know, a lot of Native American youth today doesn't take into consideration of how much pride Native Americans have for themselves, you know. And not only being, I guess, a Navajo woman on today's earth, that, you know, we are still recognized as people and not as just, you know, something that has happened or something that was just there, because we are not. We are still here today fighting for our own lives and our families and for each other, you know, brothers and sisters and hands of, you know, the great creator. And I just hope that with this movie there can be a lot more youth that understand and take pride in the privilege of being Native American, and not take it as not a grant or not something of, you know, not to be ashamed of. It's something you take pride in. It's something that you hold strong because it's your race. It's who we are, and we are still here. And we need to let everybody know, small all the way to the elders that we have today. We just need to make sure everybody knows that Native Americans are still here. Our pride is still strong, and we'll always be here. And no matter how many people try to get rid of us or remove us from our land, we're always going to be here. Hell yeah!
Give it up one more time for the cast and the crew from Howland. And just as y'all exit the stage, we're going to have Louise Vidale and Louise Crichton come up to talk a little bit about the crisis that's going on. We're going to just sort of move forward through this. But as y'all are leaving the stage, I want Crystal Zebon to stand, and also Robin Jackson and Chris Jocks, if you want to stand. Just to recognize support for independent film as a support organization. They put a lot of time into it also, a part of the process. And also the ballistics. Give it up for the ballistics in that house as well. And so please welcome to the stage Louise Vidale, Louise Crichton, to talk about the ongoing crisis that's facing our communities. Because this film is it's a snippet that's, for me, more a personal testimony to the social impacts that are.
And then Cleve says, like, when we in the movie can play a cop, and it's like, yeah. Maybe it's cool to do it, I can do it. So then, like, we're chilling, or like, on the scene area, and next thing you know, Cleve says, actually, that guy just, like, runs like a freaking cop. And then, like, it, like, attacks him, and, like, his arm is broken. broken or something. And I ran out, and then I could just hear Kayla say, "Stop! His arm! His arm!"
No, there was a lot of fun moments. There was a lot of fun doing this. There's a lot of joking around. I think there was like that part where the scene in Peabody, that was really muddy.
Oh yeah, man, that was so muddy.
My shoes were